it's a massive week when you're playing against a team the quality of South Africa. You want to make sure you do absolutely everything right during the week preparation wise. I guess the challenge individually is to focus on that and make sure you tick those boxes during the week, but then get out for dinner or spend a bit of time with lads that are good crack to be around, which can break up the week and make you relax more. So it's definitely a challenge on big weeks in terms of us. We're staying in a lovely hotel in Tor, in a little bit of a bubble, so probably it's only when you get to the stadium and see the thousands of Irish supporters you realise what's going on outside. But they're weeks you want to be a part of and enjoy, and hopefully we can make an enjoyable weekend.
South Africa obviously like to put teams under huge physical pressure. How much does your mentality come into it then, keeping your head and making the right decisions?
It plays a huge part, I think, because the quality aside they are, they'll put us under pressure more than once, several times, I'd say, as they do every week to teams they play against, and that's why they're so good. So it's trying to stay composed, and if they do get us, kind of react in the best way possible for the team, and then try and while dealing with them, try and put in our own best performance. So it's it'll be a test for us and against one of the best teams in world rugby, definitely.
Paul?
Gary, just to continue on about the game itself, like, what do you expect from South Africa, and how difficult are they going to be to break down?
Incredibly difficult, I reckon. They pride themselves on their defence, and they're a really well organised defensive team. What maybe from the outside looks chaotic, you can see they're all on the same page, and you have players that can make a massive impact defensively. So it'll put our attack under huge stress, no doubt, and that's the challenge, to try and deal with that, and hopefully perform to the level we want to and expect. And then on the other side of it, attacking wise, they've some of the most dangerous individuals in world rugby, on top form. So for when we don't have the ball, there's no room to switch off concentration wise, or else you concede, and that's not even mentioning the physical challenge that we alluded to earlier there. So it's a concoction of everything. We need to be on it.
Bundee, I just ask you about the occasion, your 50th cap, what it means to you and your family.
It's a huge occasion, but try not to treat it as a big occasion. Just try and treat it as a game, how I normally do it every week. Obviously we're up against the world champions, but within myself and my family, it's a huge honour to be able to put on the jersey 50 times. Don't take it lightly. I know it's every time you put on that jersey, you try and play the best you can and put your best foot forward.
When you moved to Ireland, would you ever see the day when you played 50 times?
No, not a hope. I think I said it to someone before, to be able to get to 50, it's probably like getting 100 caps. I think 50 is a big number, and I know how hard it is to try and get to 100, and I'm just quite lucky to be able to put on this jersey for the 50th time. So, I want to look forward to it. Thank you.
Gary, can I ask you, to what extent is the way the box to defend a threat to you, but also an opportunity for you?
I guess it's an element of both. It's a huge threat. They score off the back of their defence, a load. So that's probably what makes it the biggest threat. They put you under pressure, force teams to maybe go away from what they're good at. But then what we're challenging ourselves is to try and be organised attacking wise, to be able to deal with that pressure, try and play in the right areas and get to space when we can. So it's easier said than done, and you see, I've no doubt teams go in to games against South Africa with the plan, and pretty quickly that goes out the door when that defensive pressure comes on from them. So it is a credit to them and such a big threat, but it's a challenge we're kind of relishing because it's testing ourselves against one of the best defensive teams. So, as you said, it's definitely a huge threat. But I mean, if we can get it right, hopefully it can be an opportunity too.
Adrian, then Murray, please.
Bundee, just you said you're trying to get through, like another game, obviously pre-game would be a bit different. How have you given much thought to that, sort of where the headspace is going to be, and trying to keep the emotions where they need to be pre-game?
Oh yeah, no, I'm trying to put the emotions out of it and just focus what I need to do as a player, be the best player as I can for my teammates, and do what I need to do week in, week out. So, no, trying to put the emotions out of it. So.
How would you both describe your partnership in the field?
I consider myself lucky to play alongside Bundee, and I think everyone in the group is unbelievably happy to see him get to 50. For him and his family, I mean, when he first came to Connacht, he kind of captured everyone's heart to Connacht, and then he's done that from the moment he put on the Irish jersey. So it couldn't be more deserved. So yeah, as I said, I consider myself lucky to play alongside him, and I know, speaking for the other centres in Robbie and Stu that are here and some that are back home, would say the exact same thing.
Thanks. Murray?
Bundee, on a personal level, Bundee
Jeez, if that was my answer, you should have heard Robbie, what Robbie would have said.
Go on.
on a personal level, you're playing some cracking rugby. What would you put that down to? Your great form.
I think, like Gary said, it's just the environment and the group of players we have. I think I'm just quite lucky just to get the end of this, those tries, and I think some of the boys, the way they set up the ball for us and make our jobs a lot easier than normal. So, yeah, I wouldn't put it into anything. I think everyone's doing a good job about it, and I'm just quite the lucky one to be able to get on the end of it.
Have you always been this quick and you just weren't getting chances to?
You can ask Gary now. I always backed myself as in being quick, but I have to try and prove these boys every now and again that I am quicker than them, which I'm not. I probably am just quite lucky when they were coming towards the end of the game, really. So, yeah.
But even in physical sense, few lads have mentioned how they feel they're in the best shape ever. Did you get that from pre-season?
Yeah, I think the S&C crew have put a good program for us in pre-season. It's a big difference from 2019 anyway, from the way I was. I think Faz told me straight away not to go back to that skinny, not to go back there. But yeah, no, I'm good. No thanks to the S&C group and the program they put us for.
Thanks, sorry.
Gary, is this the biggest physical test in World Rugby, and how do you prepare for that side of it?
I mean, I think whenever, certainly in my own headspace, whenever you're playing an international test match, you have to get yourself kind of mentally to be ready for that physical battle. So this week is no different in that regard, because for like any game, you got to get to that headspace to be able to perform. But I guess with South Africa and how they might pride themselves on their physicality, the challenge would be to get to that level, and maybe even a bit more might be needed. So certainly one of the biggest tests we'll have faced. Yeah.
Do you thrive on that?
I think it's, for I suppose myself and maybe speaking for other lads, you want to put yourself and test yourself in the toughest environments, and not necessarily thinking about the outcome, but in the moment is to test yourself. And yeah, and it kind of, I think, coming out of experiences that I've been lucky enough to get, good or bad, you get something from it. So yeah, I don't know if I use the word thrive, but you want to get a chance on the toughest games, the toughest challenges, to see how you go.
Last two questions, John. Rory, then John.
Gary, can you just give us, or either of you actually, a sense of what it's like in the face of that rush? Like actually out there when they're, Peter Steff is rushing up as hard as he can, Patrick Clerk is coming out a different angle. Like, does time slow down for you? Is there, like, can you just give us, because none of us have ever kind of faced that level of pressure?
I don't know what you reckon. It's like, as I said, it's really tough, and it's not by chance that they get it. Like, you mean, it's coached well and they clearly train it well, and it's a nightmare for a lot of teams to play against. So I mean, what it feels like, I mean, sometimes you get blindsided and you don't see it. So the challenge maybe is to be scanning as much as possible and read body language and cues to be aware of it before it happens. But even at that, I mean, that's even hard to do. I think a big thing is the ball is going away from you, getting connected with your own players, to hopefully try and make them make decisions. But then, as I said, there's so many good defenders in the team, they usually make the right decision. So there's a whole host of things you kind of need to get right. But well, like saying earlier, it's a huge threat, but hopefully it can be an opportunity if we're properly on it. Yeah.
Thanks. Final question, Johnny.
Yeah, sorry, Gary, sort of the same as what Rory was asking you. Just that particular job you do at 13, you know, the dressing crew like 2 quick winners. Is that a big threat just to what your job defensively and attacking at 13? Or could you just talk about what that threat is for those players?
Yeah, like you said, it's massive. I mean, a lot of the time I rely on the guys around me to pick up guys when I've missed tackles defensively. So I'll be asking that of Bundee this week. But yeah, it is the pace out wide, the counter-attack threat they have. You mean you can't really defend on your own against some of the individuals they have, and you mean they have the physical kind of ability to win the gain line in their centres, but then have the speed and footwork, and even the kicking ability they have as well. So you just have to be concentrated and try and be a step ahead as possible and read body language, read certain cues you might have picked up from watching them prep boys during the week to be a step ahead. But I guess that's the challenge of it, and like I was saying, I'm sure we'll get it wrong sometimes, but to hopefully get more right than wrong.